What's up, YouTube? You know where we're at. Hazoo Talks. Gonna try to make a quick video today. Don't wanna rant for too long tonight. Honestly, it's you work all day. I know today's a Sunday. I don't know if there's any to go out on a Sunday, but it's Sunday in January. But I worked all day out here in a wood shop mostly. Well, I hung a TV for my daughter in her room. I had to meet some framers this morning who were working on a Sunday for me, and then I worked in the garage here building I'm building like a built-in set in my what would be considered my formal dining room, aka used to be my office, but I lost that space in this house to my granddaughters. I've lost every space in this house except for out here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might have to put like a Murphy bed out here or something. Get a TV on the wall. If we ever slow down with work, which I really don't want to slow down with work, but if we ever slow down with work and I got more time to be home, I guess this is where I'd be. I got a couple of projects out here that are old that have been dragging out that I need to work on and finish up. But that's a topic for another day. But yeah, so I worked all day right until like 5 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And then I went in the house and we made dinner, blah, blah, blah. My wife and daughter are putting the babies down now, but they don't go to sleep now. This is just like a dog and pony show. They eat a bottle right now and they fall asleep for like 10 minutes and then they get up. And then they usually sit with me at the table downstairs for a half hour. Usually stay up for about another hour, and then they'll go to sleep. All right, so relevance today, where are we at? The big story is, I think I said it last night too, but the big story is McCarthy won the Speaker of the House. He's got the gavel. Good news, he doesn't have to move out of the office that he illegally moved into, because he made all the necessary concessions plus some. AKA sold his soul to the devil, I'm sure. He really had to bend over backwards and yield and make some concessions to a lot of the Republicans to get the votes that he wanted. And I don't know how he convinced enough people to vote for him, because there was some pretty serious opposition who were against him, but it's politics, right? You grease the right palms, I guess, and there you go. But we'll see. I'm not really expecting any kind of big change. He's another lifetime politician. Whether or not he got into the politics to make America a better place, which is what you're sworn to do, he's now a lifelong politician. So his goal is to stay in there until he's 75 or whatever, get as much power, build as much wealth as he can, until he's rich enough to retire and has generational wealth for him and his family. I really can't hate on that process. I guess if given the opportunity, I may do the same thing. But as a commoner, if you will, here in America, I see it's it needs some changes. There needs to be we need to go in a different direction than these lifetime politicians. So old news. I'm a big fan of term limits. Really, really wish that we would enact term limits so that we didn't have to put up with this stuff, and put up with these lifetime politicians and the fact that they end up with lobbyists lining their pockets, and so they never make any substantial change. So beating a dead horse. So that's about it on that one. McCarthy sold his soul. All right, Biden's in El Paso currently, and the governor, Greg Abbott, is trashing him. And I don't really know what Greg Abbott's trashing him about, but they trash each other. Greg Abbott runs a pretty good state down there. Biden is doing a dog and pony show, just showing up in El Paso now, as though he cares about the border 2.5 years after taking office. And, some like 5 million illegal immigrants have made their way across. And, tons and tons of fentanyl, of course. And speed. I didn't know that. I recently learned that too, that China is one of the biggest manufacturers of methamphetamine. I thought that was like a Midwest poor town drug, but evidently China, they're the manufacturers of the world of pretty much everything at this point. So why wouldn't they make the speed, right? So Biden's in El Paso, acting like he cares about what's going on. I'm sure he's got some good speech writers writing down some stuff for him to talk about. And he'll leave in a day or two, and he'll probably say some stupid things and have some of his normal gaffes that he has, and then they'll put the ball in Karine Jean-Pierre's hands and let her explain it away and try to make sense out of the nonsense gibberish that he's spitting. But nothing will come of it, nothing will come of it. That's just going to be the end. I mean, it's just going to be what it is. He made his appearance. He's going to leave, and it's going to go on as usual, business as usual. Good news: Hamlin is recovering. They showed a picture of him in the hospital bed with thumbs up and making a heart sign. I think he's still having trouble speaking, but he doesn't have a ventilator anymore. So he's recovering. Seems to be in pretty good spirits. I think he was watching the game with his family today. That's good news. I hope he makes a full recovery, Honestly, I don't really care if he ever plays the game again. I don't know that he should want to play the game again, to be quite honest with you. But I would assume that he probably has some damage to his heart, and he may never be able to play. That doesn't mean he won't be able to live a normal life and maybe successfully like run businesses and whatnot. And I wish that for him. And it's a shame if football was his dream that it ended this way. But I mean, it is a really pretty violent sport. I know everybody loves it, and I'm an outcast in this sense because I don't really care about it. I've got some old school friends who are like diehard Eagles fans, and I live in an area that's like diehard Giants fans, and I just don't care. I really don't. Across the street, there was a big party all day today. People were like basically tailgating because the Giants are playing the Eagles, and that's always a big rivalry. And I put it on when I was making dinner for like 20 minutes, and so I glance at the score. I'm cooking dinner, and I've got an AirPod in, and I'm listening to music or I'm listening to something on YouTube. That's pretty much how my nights go. I just use the football as a distraction mainly. But yeah, good news. He's recovering. I hope he makes a full recovery and doesn't have any ill effects. But I hope he moves on from football, and I hope that they come out with like a truthful report as to what caused this, and not that this was just some fluke freak accident. That they do some actual testing and determine the cause of his heart attack at 24. Okay, I keep seeing this. NPR actually put an article out yesterday. They said that RSV is receding. RSV is the respiratory illness. It's interesting that everything's a respiratory illness, although, right? RSV is receding. The flu is peaking right now. That means we're in the top of flu season. So it should start dropping off. But this XBB 1.5 COVID strain is surging. And I think it's been surging, to be quite honest with you. As I said before, 2 months ago or 2.5 months ago, we were in a house and they tested positive for COVID. And a lot of people, like my electrician, 3 of his guys had it. Like I've seen, the fiberglass guys that we work for, they had it. Like everybody seemed to get it around here about 2.5 months ago. And it was pretty rampant. We had it again, and it wasn't as bad as the first time, but I'm still having some lingering breathing problems from it. It's But yeah, so the NPR is saying that it's surging. It's like 70% of the cases in the United States right now are this new strain. But don't worry, they're testing people at the airports now. After it's been running around our country for 3 months, now we're testing people at the airports. Even though we used to deem that racist, it's not racist anymore. Don't know if you saw this, and it's an interesting time that Biden is in El Paso, but there's like a war in Mexico right now. Pretty serious war because they arrested, what the hell's his name? Guzman? I forget his name. I think it's, the drug dealer, the Mexican drug lord. They arrested his son for drug trafficking and conspiracy and, all the things that they charge people with. And now, so the cartel has basically declared war in that town. And they're like, took over the airport or something, and they've got like the police station surrounded, lots of like bullets flying, and I think they even have like some pretty heavy weaponry that is being fired off, some missiles or something. I heard like it's pretty wild, but the cartel's pissed off that they arrested this guy, and they arrested him. I think they said they arrested him like 2 years ago, or they tried to arrest him 2 years ago, and the same thing happened, and so they ended up letting him go. And now, so there's a big time dangerous war, and I don't know what that means for the cartel and their ability to smuggle people and drugs and stuff across the border, and whatnot. I don't know if that means it's going to slow down the surge of illegal migrants coming into our country, or what'll happen. But we'll brief it as it evolves and see what happens. Just figured I'd let you know. The last thing I want to talk about, and this is just kind of like, this is not really a daily distraction. This is just an interesting topic to me because I keep seeing little tidbits in different news sources. And you'll hear a famous person say it periodically now. Most recently, Trump's son-in-law, Kushner, said something to the effect that he's got to get in better shape because he's going to live forever. It's a pretty bold statement to claim immortality. I don't know what he knows, but he knows something, It's amazing what a few $1 billion, it's amazing the way a few $1 billion can connect you. I, for one, don't think that this is new technology, though, or new medicine. I know that there's I've read some things over the years, and I've watched some podcasts and some doctors and scientists talk about it. And I know that the medical community as a whole has a grasp on physical aging and what causes it, or maybe not per se what the cause is. I know it has to do with oxidation. I know it has to do with something called your telomeres shortening. Your telomeres, I think, are wrapped or part of your DNA. And when you're born, your telomeres are at their longest. I think of telomeres like your fingernails, if you will. And when you're born, your telomeres are at their longest point ever. And as you, this is like a test that they do, that they've been able to sort of watch. As you age, they check your telomeres, and the older you are, the shorter they are. I'm guessing up to the point that you almost have no telomere left. And at that point, you're basically aged out and on borrowed time. So the theory has been in the past that to lengthen your lives, you have to slow down the shrinking or the oxidation or whatever it is that causes it, the cell damage of your telomeres in your DNA. And if you were able to stop that or even reverse that, which I think they're doing in rats and shit like that right now, you could technically, live a lot longer, 100 to 150, maybe 200. And I don't mean like you're going to be like a decrepit 160-year-old. You might be a pretty active 150-year-old, you know what I mean? because your body would stop aging, so your muscle tone and your bone density and I'm not sure what the play on organs for that is though. You know what I mean? I mean your organs are only meant to structurally to be around for so long, so you may need like organ transplants or something, I would think, but I don't know. I'm just kind of like, freestyling, if you will, talking about this. But I keep seeing things about it. I keep seeing these little news articles or these little things about science has done this or found this or perfected this, and different elitists or really wealthy people are now talking about. Hold on, sorry, got to wrap this up shortly. So yeah, I know like one thing I read was like you could take resveratrol. Resveratrol's found in wine and grapes and whatnot, and it's like it's like a superfood antioxidant. It's one of the things that supposedly can help you lengthen your life, but it's like hocus pocus, if you will, for commoners like me. That's the information that we've been given in recent times. I know that there's something better out there now. They're just not telling us about it. But the elitists are finding out about it. So, we'll probably go through a 30-year span where you'll see like certain celebrities and billionaires and the sons of billionaires and the wives of billionaires won't age at all. Like Jared Kushner, he's like in his 40s right now, maybe early 50s. Chances are he's going to look like this till he's 80 or 90, before he ages again. So keep an eye on that. It's an interesting topic, and they're just openly now talking about it. So they don't release anything until something is out there. And I think that falls in line with, I actually think that falls in line with the way Biden keeps, periodically whenever he needs it for an election, starts talking about curing cancer. There's probably some big medical stuff on the horizon, but, it's not really meant for us, which is a shame. But it's gonna soft roll out, and it's gonna benefit the right people for a lot of years before we get any trickle down effect from any of that, And I think it's probably been out for a little while. So it's like, how do you explain Jennifer Aniston and the hell's her name? I mean, all these celebrities, Jennifer Aniston, Nicole Kidman still looks stunning. The chick from Pretty Woman, can't remember her name, but I know she attributes that shit to some kind of enzyme in cantaloupe, but I'm not buying that. You're just gonna see it. Jennifer Aniston looks as good at 54 or 55 as she did at 22. Brad Pitt looks the same as he did when he was 30. And I know that they're rich and they can afford the right organic foods and the right vitamins and they stay healthy and stay in shape and whatnot. And I know that would contribute to your longevity, but they just look too goddamn good. I'm in my late 40s right now, and we've been poor, and I've aged like a son of a bitch. I'd love to slow it down. But yeah, so that's my interesting topic of the night. Hope you enjoyed. So I guess that's it tonight, YouTube. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Share this video with anybody and everybody, obviously. Trying to grow this channel, trying to get some subscribers. And I want to have dialogue with people. I want to talk about stuff. I got a lot to talk about, and and also I'd like to have open conversations with people about whatever. So like and subscribe and share this with anybody you can, and we'll see you again soon.